Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all about parenting, child development, good communication, all over the world through the lens of the principle self-government. In this video, we're talking about how to encourage a child to participate in an activity. In this video, we're going to be talking about why children don't want to participate. That insight can be helpful. And then I'm going to share with you a real story from a young man in a family that I know. And then I'm going to be telling you exactly what you can do to encourage them to participate. Now, one thing that you need to know is that self-government hinges on the concept of choice. Every person gets to choose. This means that there really isn't merit in making people do things. That said, sometimes parents need to give instructions. That's totally healthy and normal. Sometimes parents need to give corrections and allow their child to accept negative consequences that may include extra chores, those types of things. Those are all healthy, normal, good things. But ultimately, the child gets to choose what they will do, won't do, what they will think and feel about it and not. So when you are talking about encouraging a child to try an activity, what you're doing is trying to help them to want to choose. And making a choice outside of a perceived comfort zone can take a lot of practice, a lot of patience, and sometimes isn't going to happen always on the first, second, or even fifth time. Sometimes a person needs a lot of proof, especially if they're a little bit more of a timid personality. So why is it that people choose not to participate in activities? Well, one, they might be timid. Two, they might not have a lot of experience stepping out of a comfort zone. They're just not sure what could happen. They might have fears. They might be controlling. That's a thing. Maybe they feel like, well, no, because I won't be good at that. And if I can't be good at that, I'm not going to do it. So that's kind of a controlling thing. Sometimes it's just a certain type of a personality trait. If you've read my book, Parenting House United, you know I talk about the different colors of personalities. And there's that white personality that wants to be perfect at anything before they ever try it, which isn't the way of the human existence, but they hope for it. They really want to see themselves as successful. They don't like criticism at all. Now, they still have to learn to accept it. We've got to work with our children on that, but we can be examining, well, what is going on there? How are they processing in their world? And what is it that has them afraid? Or is it just a desire to control and to be dominant in a circumstance and they're not sure they can be? What are we really working with here? Do they not have the social skills that they need? Do they not have the discernment skills that they need? Do they fear that they don't have the intelligence skills that they need? There are multiple areas that we could be looking at to try to beef up skill development, do some practices. Practicing a circumstance ahead of time always is going to be one of the best things that you can do. I'm a big believer in role plays. If you have already subscribed to this channel, then you know I teach a lot of skills of self-government here. We're going to be talking about a few of them in this video, but there are so many, and we role play all of them. Practice all of them. If you are a self-governed person, you'd made a plan ahead of time, you have practiced that plan, and then you follow through on that plan. And if something goes off or you feel like the plan wasn't good, it wasn't working, then you adjust after that. So maybe your child is uneasy, they're timid, they have anxiety, they're shy. What do you do about that? I know a little boy. He's 9 years old, cutest little thing. Anyway, he's a good friend of our family, and I happened to be having a conversation with his mother just a little while ago, and she said to me, you know, I really want him to have some of these opportunities and experiences, but he just does not really feel comfortable in so many circumstances. And so what can I do? She said, you know, I want him to go to church, but he doesn't want to go to church. He's 9. And she's wanting him to have those types of experiences in his life and wondering what she can do there. So I talked with her about, you know, well, maybe if he met the teacher or the instructor ahead of time at church, then that would help him. Because sometimes a person just needs to see and touch and feel and know that everything's okay. Interestingly enough, this boy will do a lot of sports. He loves sports. So it's very interesting because sports, usually you have to step out of your comfort zone and there's a lot of unknown there. But he's willing to face sports unknown, just not the talking social unknown, because I think he's not sure of maybe what to say. He's just unsure of his communication, even though he's very brave in so many other ways. So I suggested, let's get together with the teachers maybe at the church and see if he can get to know them. A teacher came over and visited him and he responded pretty decently. He wasn't super talkative, but he did talk a little bit and he warmed up to the idea that this person actually cared about him. I think that's what a lot of people need to see in circumstances is, do the people there care about me? Is it going to be safe and okay to fail? Because what if I'm not perfect at it? What if I don't know what to say? What if I don't know church things yet? What if I don't know that sport yet or that music stuff yet? Then what's going to happen? Well, if they see that the people around them care about them and they can meet some of those people ahead of time, that can make a big difference. But it could require multiple meetings before the person is feeling fully comfortable getting together with new people, doing new things. Doing stuff with your child is always a great idea. Before I ever give my children a chore to do, I always do it with them multiple times. This is part of my pre-teaching program. So when I teach children skills of self-government, I always pre-teach everything. That's a principle of learning. It helps all learning go better. And when people need to try new things, just spend a little bit of time pre-teaching it. It makes all the difference. Recently, I got certified to be a scuba diver, which is something that's been on my bucket list to do. Wow, the amount of pre-teaching that they did was incredible. But I have to tell you, as a person who's like, I'm going how deep down? I'm going to be wearing what? I'm going to be breathing through what? I have to do what if this mask comes off? What do I do? A person that I'm not even that anxious of a person, but a person knowing that I'm going to be going into a circumstance that maybe has a little bit higher anxiety to it. Boy, did I appreciate the repetitive pre-teaching again. I think sometimes as parents, we think, okay, I've already talked about this game, I've already talked about the sport, I've already talked about the children, and still, they're just not interested, they're just still not interested. Talk about it again, talk about it again. Give them rules of thumb. There are 3 rules that they taught me for scuba diving. I have committed them to memory. I will remember, no matter what, those 3 rules if I ever scuba dive anywhere. I am never leaving my buddy. I am always continuously breathing. And if I'm coming to the surface, I am going to make sure that I go slowly so that I don't oversaturate myself with nitrogen. I know those things. Those are my safety things. I am going to follow those things no matter what. So give your children some rules. Give them something to hold on to, some skills. This is where the role play practice really comes in. So now I told my friend about her son and about church. I said, okay, so you want him to go to church. He technically kind of wants to go, but he doesn't because of the anxiety and just worrying about trying a new thing. Sometimes a parent has to take the brave step for the child a few times before the child knows that it's going to be okay. So if he meets the teachers, if he meets the children in the class, but he still is not sure what it means to be at church, well, there's no way to cross over that one. You could simulate it at home and try to have a church type thing at home and see if he'd be okay with it. But then there comes a point where you have to say, we're going to go on this day. Prepare yourself. It's 3 days ahead of time. Get prepared. We're going to church on this day. It's going to be like this. If I need to sit with you in the class, I will, but I think you're going to be fine. This is what we're going to do. You tell them you're going to be fine. Everyone does this. Tell them the truths like that. People go to church all the time, every week, and they're okay. They're fine with it. It's going to be okay. Give them the truths. You acknowledge, yep, you might be feeling a little bit nervous, but here's the truths you need to know. People do this all the time, and they don't die. And they make friends. And it's good stuff. And I will be there right after when you come out of your class to greet you. If you need me, the teacher can text me. I can come in. We'll make sure she's got my phone number so that I can be there for you if needed. but I think you're going to have fun and it's going to be okay. And then you just bring them there. You let them experience, even if they give you the look like, I don't want to. Say, you don't have to talk to anybody if you don't want to. But if you do, you'll have more fun. It's going to be okay. And then you might have to do that like 3, 4, 7 times before they're finally like, oh yeah, it's okay. It's just church, or it's just soccer practice, or it's just school, whatever it is. It may take a little bit of time, but they can get there and they want to. Sometimes they may have to follow an instruction from you. Following instructions is one of the basic skills of self-government. So there are 4 basic skills of self-government: following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. And these children's books each teach one of the 4 basic skills. This book here, London LaRae Says Okay, actually teaches children how to follow instructions. If you can teach your child to follow instructions, then when a hard moment comes, you can pre-teach them about the instruction, remind them of the steps that they already know how to do, then they can focus on the steps and experience that new thing with less difficulty. Now, there are so many more things that I could teach you about the skills and principles of self-government. I think if you've enjoyed this video that you probably will love the next video that I have for you, which teaches so many more things about self-government. It is called The Not So Known Secret to Parenting Success. Click on the link to that video now and you'll learn about all 4 of these skills and others to help your children prepare to have new experiences. Click on the link to that video. I'll see you there.